go. That's life. What's up with that? Let's go.
All right, guys, let's get
Man,
into
if you're going to ask anything about pedals, he's the one to ask.
Okay, yeah, we'll get into it. Yeah.
Cool. Definitely.
All right, let's do this. Hey, what's up, guys? What's up with that? Season 2, episode 9, I think. I got Wolvera here. This is an awesome band out of Dallas. Out of Dallas, right?
Out of
don't,
Dallas,
Don't let me get me
man.
wrong. Y'all
That's
correct
right.
me.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Out of
yeah.
Dallas.
So, forgive me, Garth
Yes.
and
Jerry.
All right, guys, there you go. Man, I just want to start off with, y'all just put out this killer new music video yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday,
And
man.
Lurking Within.
Lurking Within's the song, yep.
Tell me the story about it, man. How'd that come about?
Yeah, man. So it's part of our EP that we released back in November. It's called Towards the Deep.
Yeah.
And it's our second single, and it's a really high energetic song that we really like. And we thought it would be the perfect song to make a music video so people can kind of see the intensity and the the aggression and the music that we bring.
Yeah. How long y'all been a band now?
How long has it been, Garth?
I'd say, like, if we're gonna put a date on it, it's been about 2 years.
2 years,
that
yeah.
this
Oh, was
project
this like a
been-
COVID band?
Prior to COVID, a little bit, but
Yeah.
it was more just jamming. We were just jamming out,
Yeah.
making.
We both had other things going on at the time. I
Yeah.
was with another band, and he was just busy with work and school.
Dude, most drummers are in like 3 or 4 bands. You know?
They're supply and demand.
Yeah, that's what it is, dude, man. Because
They're very needed.
every time I've tried to find a drummer, they're like, "Oh man, I'd love to, but I'm in another band right now. Or I don't have the time for it." You know?
That was definitely. I tried to get with a Prince tribute band.
No way.
A couple months ago, and we
Yeah.
were doing practicing and stuff like that. And that was their big concern: is how much is this band going to take time
Mm-hmm.
of them doing their thing and all that stuff? But it never panned out to anything. But that was definitely one of the concerns.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Drummers are in high demand.
They're always in high demand.
Yeah,
So
dude.
I can remember they've always.
How long you been playing drums?
I guess 16 years coming in
Right on.
now because I'm 31. Just turned January.
Right,
31.
right.
So 16 years now.
Damn it, man. I could never get into drums. I'm not a drum player, man. I'm a
It-
guitar player at
I
heart.
thought about it at one point, but it never panned out either for me.
Yeah, I can't be the beat, but I can play to the beat. You know, if that makes sense?
Yeah, no, the foundation's tough,
Mm-hmm.
and it's weird for me the other way around because I always hear what's on top of it,
Mm.
and it's easy for me to lay that foundation and go with what I feel like should go. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm in tune with like the guitar, like I understand. I can't play it worth a damn, but I get where it's going, and it helps me develop, that beat and foundation. for
Sure,
that
sure. And I
song.
bet y'all two are pretty tight because y'all are the
Yeah.
y'all are the engine room of the whole song. You know?
Yeah, definitely, man. As a bass player, I try to play off of what his drums are doing, and
Yeah.
also what the guitar's doing, and it's just a little, the meat of the song being the bass player, just trying to gel it all together so it's smooth, and it has its challenges, but yeah, I try to stick with the.
It's got to be hard playing like vocals too.
Yeah,
Do
that's-
you struggle with that? Because I can't
All
play
the
guitar
time.
and sing at
Yeah,
all.
all the time, man. It's most of the songs that we write, like I'll learn them in guitar first, and then I'll try to sing because try to catch pitch.
Yeah.
But then in switching over to bass, it's a little bit harder because the little more off time stuff. that we
Yeah,
play,
yeah.
And like I said, trying to.
Well, I could imagine like just
drums.
yeah, right, and being in time with the drums, and then the vocals aren't always on time.
Yeah,
So
they're not
you're
always.
like left
yeah,
brain,
sometimes-
right brain type
Sometimes
shit.
they're on the guitar. Sometimes they are on the bass and the drums. But it's a challenge, man. But just stick with it, and I just have to muscle through it.
Right.
Yeah, I think the muscle memory is where it comes
yeah,
into play.
just-
Definitely.
Repetition.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Have you always been the front man of other bands you've been in, or
No, so me and Garth were in a band before called Mentira, and I was just the bass player for that band. That's actually where I met Garth.
Okay.
I came on after the band was established. I came on probably like a year maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
About a year after that band had started, and I came on just as a bass player, and we had a vocalist and a guitar player, and yeah, no, but I was just a bass player for that band. So, but other than that, this is the first, I guess, second band that I've been in that's the front man for it. So.
right? Man, I don't think I can be a front man. I'm totally fine being on the side. Like, you know what I mean?
It has its perks, definitely.
Yeah.
You don't got to worry about a lot of things when you're just the guitar player, just the bass player.
Sure.
Hang out a little bit more.
Yeah, I just hide behind the cymbals.
Get a little bit quieter.
So
on the
did all the guys help you load in and load out though? Because you
Uh,
got the worst shit.
Yeah. I definitely made it a lot easier over the years
Yeah.
with the new equipment you can use and the bags that you can carry all your stuff in. But yeah, no, they're definitely more helpful than previous bands.
That was always an issue in my band. My drummer would be like, "Dude, guys, come on, you gotta help me! Like, there's so much shit I gotta bring in to set up my fucking rack."
I still feel like most of the time I'm the last one in and the last.
Oh, for
one
sure.
out.
I don't doubt it, dude.
Yeah.
Vocalist, he just shows up with the bass, like, "All right, let's go."
We try to help him out sometimes.
Hell yeah.
It's a lot of shit, man. He got his hardware, he got his drums,
Yeah.
cymbals.
But I say even with
bags.
this type of music though, even the bass player and guitar player, like they have stuff. I mean, they have some stuff they got to carry.
Yeah.
Some pedals.
Yeah.
cables.
What's the most used piece of equipment you have?
Most used? I don't know, man. I say my pedal board.
Yeah.
I use quite a bit of pedals on my.
So what's the most used or your favorite pedal on that board?
I use a big muff for distortion.
yeah.
So I put a lot of grit on it. It's pretty gritty sound. Really
Big Muff is
dirty.
classic, man.
Yeah, I have the green Russian big muff that I use because it has a lot more low ends.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm using. That and a wall pedal to get the nice little bass lead tones on.
That's
there.
cool.
So yeah, I would say that's my number one at least.
What about you, man?
Most used piece.
Like crash cymbals.
I would say I go through them the most.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one practice kit that we use at his brother's place is all the cymbals are broken. Every
I don't
single
doubt it.
one of them are broken and they sound like shit. But I mean, I guess that gets the most wear would be the heads, like the drum
Yeah,
heads.
that
You
makes
know,
sense.
it's the kick or the snare drum heads. But the most expensive pieces replacing are the cymbals for sure. But I've had some cymbals that I'm still using after 10 years.
Right.
You know, and haven't broken them. And then some cymbals I'll have for a year and they'll break. So
They just split down the middle or chip? Or?
some, it depends. Some I've dropped, and so I know that.
Yeah.
But
I know where that came
there's another one that I bought that was a mix with dry and bright. And I guess right at the seam of where they changed that type of, different, what would you call that? I forget. Anywho, they it cracked right there at that. And so,
The one in the room?
yeah.
Yeah, that was weird. It cracked it's a circle, and usually they crack down, but this
Yeah.
one cracked around
Yeah, like
That's
right
weird.
where
part
it
of
changes
where
that
the
finish.
bell, and then it kind of sticks out a little bit, and it's like a perfect.
Oh, yeah, that is odd.
It's almost
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a circular crack, just strange.
They make a different sound? Or that's
Yeah,
got
it
to.
does. Yeah, it really does. It's and what kind of sucks about it is it's a dry and it cuts. So now you're even more dry, like with that cut into it. So it didn't really help me
Man,
much. But
back we were having practice one time, and I used to think it was cool to like hit my guitar on the cymbals.
oh yeah,
I used to think that was cool. I fucked my guitar up all
Yeah,
here.
Oh, yeah.
It looks so cool.
Yeah, but I broke my my drummer's cymbal one time. He was so mad at me. He was like, "What the fuck, dude?" Like, I just went whack on it. And it split it right down the middle. He was like, "Dude, what the fuck?"
I'd be pretty pissed.
Yeah, right?
I'm not gonna lie, that's
Yeah.
probably $200.
Yeah, no, I had to buy him a new
depending
one.
on the cymbal,
Damn.
But yeah, drumsticks are.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, that goes by. Those are indefinite. I mean, you just throw those out every.
Yeah, you probably break one all the time, right?
Yeah, especially with playing the metal music, a lot heavier stuff. They definitely go through pretty quickly.
So you kind of multi-genre? You go
Yeah.
in and out of different genres?
I've tried to jump in as many different genres as I can as a drummer because as a musician, I love all genres of
Right.
music.
I'm the same way, man. Yeah.
I get something out of each genre, whether it's a beat or a hook or a riff or even, rhymes, lyrics and stuff like that. There's something in anybody's work that's always, it's cool and so nice to listen to. So, like my last project that I was in was a funk rock band and had, elements of like some indie type and more funky, grooves.
Like Red Hot Chili Peppers kind of
yeah,
thing? Yeah, that's
kind
cool.
of feel like with
Yeah.
like 311
Okay.
type vibes.
That's tight.
And so that was a lot of fun. We did that for a couple years, and that one kind of dispersed. But I've been in like a jam band before, which we would kind of interchange between members, and so that was a lot of fun. That one
That sounds
taught me
like
a-
fun.
It taught me a lot about space and when to give players to breathe, or when and timing and joining in with other players, and just on the spot of creating new content. So that was a lot of fun. But that was very like fusion, jazz, like type playing. very light electric guitar and groovy bass and stuff like that.
That's cool.
So yeah, I try to, and especially when I'm practicing and stuff, it's definitely jumping through genres to get what I can out of each element.
Yeah.
But I always fall back on metal and rock. Like
I do too, man.
is.
It's just
Same.
the tried and true, right?
God, it is so awesome.
Same.
The skills and the intensity and the sound, it's all there for me.
It's a whole nother vibe, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I miss my metal band, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I love playing and jamming with people, but like the vibe of when you get a band that's just tight and you all can just fucking rock out together, dude.
Yeah.
That's a feeling.
Something about it, right? It's like this feeling that just. I only get it with metal.
Yeah.
Like something about it, just jamming out to like really heavy stuff or like more.
It's a
sped up
release.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
It just kind of.
Yeah.
Just
Definitely.
feel it. Yeah.
And especially now that we're building more intricate songs, especially with this new EP release, Towards the Deep, I feel like it pushed a lot of our creativity on, our boundaries for creativity, on what we're creating and how we used to write music to what we developed through writing the EP and how we recorded it. Now when we're like playing it together and we're landing these parts, I feel like you get more intense emotions and vibe, like strength for like, this sounds awesome. Like you're playing it perfectly together. Like we set up a really cool solo fill thing in one of the songs, actually Towards the Deep, the song on the EP Towards the Deep. And me and his brother, the guitarist, we didn't even plan this, but we set up like this fill solo thing in the studio. It's actually Jerry wrote the solo, but Ozzy has to play it, and so we practiced it out and everything. And we created this moment in the studio. We didn't write it out pre-studio, and now when we play it, it's like one of the best parts of the song.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It
Definitely.
lines up together perfectly. Like we had no idea like it was gonna be like that, and it just happens in the studio, and it sounds great.
Those are sometimes like the best moments.
Studio magic, man.
Yeah,
It
unexpected
happens.
ones.
But then we've also been on the other end
And on the other end,
with our engineer in the studio, and he goes, "That's no,
Sounds like
get rid of that.
Yeah.
Get that beat out of here."
I don't like that. Like,
Yeah.
oh, shit. Okay.
Where do y'all record at? Because by the looks of y'all's Instagram, it looks like a nice studio.
Oh, it's really awesome.
Yeah, it's at Empire Sound Studios. It's it's in Carrollton actually.
Okay.
So it's close by. It's,
35 in Beltline.
That's not too far.
No, not at all.
It's really
Yeah,
close.
you're in the area.
Yeah, and we were looking for a studio to record the EP, and we wanted something that, really had good sound.
Yeah.
And
Especially with metal.
especially with metal,
Yeah.
because
I mean, it sounds nice.
Right.
thank you.
No,
Thanks,
we were
appreciate it,
really
man.
impressed by the quality and the sound that
Yeah.
the engineer Alex Gerst was able to get. It was really impressive.
Man, and all the amps in there.
Yeah.
Like it's just a wall of Marshalls, Mesa Boogies, like oranges. I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is this? All their amps? Like,
It was a lot more. Honestly, for me at least, I was expecting a lot less. I just saw the big room that he had for his drums, and I think that's great. And just his Instagram photos that he had on there. But when you actually go in, you see, it's a room full of amps.
That's
and then
crazy.
that's one room, and then he has another room full of like bass amps and clean amps. Anything from
And then
Vox
a
to
drum room as well.
Fenders
Yeah.
to any amp you could think of.
that's awesome. 'cause-
Whole room for snares.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
a
really?
closet full of snares.
A stack of
stack of
all-
Man, I
snares.
need to check this place out.
snares
No,
and,
for
and
sure.
cymbals and
And then he not only that studio, but he has two other studios in the area.
yeah, we
like
got we
in the
got
building.
we got the larger studio, but he
Yeah.
has two other ones that are he says they're smaller, but I saw them and they're a little bit smaller. They're not very small. They're just a tiny bit smaller, but they're also like
That's cool.
So
perfectly
from
set
our
from a sound standpoint, great.
past experiences recording and my past experiences recording with our bands and such, this was a huge step up and
Definitely.
a great experience for sure.
What's the difference?
Well, a lot of it was we were always trying to find like a cheaper route, or we could do it, type thing with the old recordings, like. Because I bought a bunch of recording equipment, mics, interface, and so when we're a band with Mentira, all we would need is a room.
Yeah.
So then we just get the room, we record the stuff, and then we'd work through that recording ourselves. And so that was one, way of doing it.
kind of
But
like a let's do it yourself type
Yeah,
thing.
there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
though.
it was
not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Not
But
at all.
when you had the experience that we had in that area
Mm-hmm.
of audio engineering, and then you're trying to do metal or like rock and metal, I feel like it's a gap.
Yeah.
Because that genre is so hard to get with the sound engineering because you have such heavy tones in the bass.
Yeah.
And the kick is
Everything's on
nutty.
11.
Everything's on 11, and
Yeah.
you're trying to make sure everything is you can hear everything.
Well,
So
and
it's-
they're all sharing the same frequency.
Yeah,
That's
you
that's
want
true.
it. You want it heavy, and you want it loud, and you want it. Like you want to feel it,
But you want it clean.
You want it clean, and you want to be able to tell the
Exactly.
difference.
You don't
like-
want it to be muddy, everything on
It's-
top of
it's
each
a
other.
lot. It's a lot.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not just like
Right. So the room is quality, the equipment you're using is quality, the tuning is quality. So that experience, and then I think it just progressively got a little bit better as I went through the bands. Like, because then the next band we'd use somebody that actually went to school for it, but still had let's go find a room. We have my equipment. We can do it this way,
Yeah.
and it get us quality, but it is nothing like what we got at Empire Sound Studios for sure.
No, y'all sound like that's a professional release.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely the room. The room is a very big, important part.
And man, quality is everything.
Yeah,
Like
Especially in this genre.
yeah, if you put out some shit, everyone's gonna be like, oh, that band sucks.
Yeah.
or they're not gonna, or they won't take you seriously.
Or
Right.
or they might get the idea like, oh, they sound good, but they don't sound good. Like the quality is not that great. But
Right.
I like this riff, but it just doesn't give you the full experience as if when you were to see them live, or as if you were to have a good quality.
Y'all got some killer riffs too, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate
I
it.
dig that. Are you help writing all those? or-
We write them all together, man.
Yeah.
So Ozzy wrote a lot of riffs back in the day that he just had, and
Mm-hmm.
he would show them to me, and we would record them on like a phone or something.
Sure.
And we have a
Been there.
we have a list. We share a Google Drive, and we just pile things in there,
That's
of
sick.
riffs and melodies and stuff. And then when it comes to writing, we'll do like the bare bones of it. Sometimes I'll get a riff in my head and I'll play it, and then if I can't think of the next riff, I'll go through the list. Maybe I find something there. And
Oh no way! So you'll just jump through songs like
yeah, just kind of just jump through those riffs, and then like, okay, this riff sounds good with the one
Yeah.
I just wrote, and like, hey, I have something here.
You remember all that?
Sometimes, man.
man.
A lot of content to look.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
and-
there's some that stick out.
some of them stick out, and I think most of it as we write more. For me at least, it's like it's just kind of like a feeling or an emotion, because I could hear a riff and I'd be like, that's a good riff, but then like 2 months later I'll hear it again, I'd be like, that's a really good riff. Now I like it more, or now I might not like it as much. So
Well, I think music is just situational.
Yeah, very,
You know,
very
You'll
much
come
so.
back to something and be like, why did I do that?
yeah,
You know, Well,
definitely.
I could have played it like this or said it like this.
Right.
You know?
Well, that's a good example on like Forbidden.
Yeah,
Another song we're working on.
What happened there?
Well, no, I mean that for what you're saying about that's a song that they had in the works like 10, 15 years
okay.
ago.
yeah.
And now they brought it, but we've completely changed the dynamic of the song. But it's still
It was a clean song, actually.
Yeah, it's still the
It was
traditional
like
riffs.
clean with riff, like chords and stuff that me and Ozzy, and we had a project when we were kids. So I was a kid. I was like 15, I think. And we wrote that, and it was a clean song, because it wasn't a metal band. It was more like a hard rock
Okay, yeah.
rock band back then. And but I like the chord progression that Ozzy had for that. So then I was like, how can we make this heavy for metal? So we changed it up a bit. I mean, the notes are pretty much the same. The key is the same, but it just has a different vibe now.
Yeah.
So
Completely.
now it's a heavy song.
Yeah,
It's
cool.
Heavy, in your face,
It's
got
upbeat,
harmonies.
yeah, so-
I always like to
cool.
hear that transformation of songs like that.
Yeah, so we still have one. Maybe one day we'll release the original track.
You should, man. Just put it out as like a remix or
Yeah,
something.
Where it came from.
Yeah, right.
It's always cool to see that in art.
Guitar players are bad about that. They'll sit on riffs for years.
Yeah.
man. I've got riffs that I don't know what to do with. That they're just waiting for a home.
They're just there. Yeah, I mean, what was it? Endless Voyage. We had that one probably around the same time Forbidden was written. That one, we didn't know what to do with it. We had the chords, and we didn't know where to take it. Ozzy and me, we were just thinking about it. And one day we were like, let's go.
8.5-minute song.
We were like, let's go
Oh,
heavier,
wow.
or let's go lighter, or maybe we should just end it. And it was like, I don't know, nothing.
It's hard to
nothing
find
fits
that.
right.
Sometimes it's hard to know when to stop. 'Cause
Yeah.
you can just let a song go and build
Right,
and build
yeah.
and build and build.
Well, and I was really surprised too because I've always been like the song is super long,
Mm-hmm.
but when we recorded it and when you play it, it
just
goes
goes
by.
through.
It
Yes.
really does. Like I feel like there's three main sections of the song once you break it down, and the second section comes up and you're like, oh well, this is
Coming to the
this
end,
is
right?
great.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a build up from here, and you're getting more excited, and it's more energy, and you're like, well, here we go. And it's really surprising to see the reaction on the song. A lot of people really like that one. over some of the ones that we favor a little bit more. Have more intensity.
I enjoy a longer song, man. 'Cause
Yeah, I like long
most songs nowadays, a lot of rap songs, like 2 minutes.
Yeah, they're really short.
They're trying to get those streams up.
Yeah,
The shorter the song,
push
the
out
more
a
streams.
song. Yeah, I feel like the way the platforms have pushed it, the quality of what people are pushing out may not be the same as what people were doing in the 80s or 90s
100%.
or 70s, any time before the big streaming platforms really took place. Because now people are like, I got to push out a song or two a month to keep up with the competition.
Yeah, the pace of it is just
It's very
insane.
fast, yeah.
It really is. Yeah, and so but there's some people that are able to keep up with that pace, and maybe that's what you got to do now to stay alive. But and some independent people, they're always putting out new songs, new stuff. So
Right.
Yeah, definitely. We try to stay writing as much as we can, just to not lose the spark and not get too comfortable with not writing. So we're constantly trying to just write and
stay fresh.
stay fresh and have different ideas. And some songs go through their cycles. Like we might say it's done, and then a month later we're like, you know what, maybe we should.
I know all about
instead.
that.
Maybe we should change this a little bit, or
My band was the worst about that. We'd play a song and record it,
Yeah.
and then play it different live.
Yeah, wow.
You like just in the moment, like take it this way or
it somewhere else, yeah.
Yeah.
We were bad about that.
That's funny because now we're like keeping more cemented into the song that we recorded.
Yeah.
Because it used to be, okay, we recorded something and just kind of like that. Oh well, it sounded better like this live, a little more intense. We'll do it this way
Sure.
now. But the recorded way is the recorded way, whatever. But now that we've put so much work into the preload of recording these songs and getting it to the sound that we want and the fills like to come in exactly when we want them to, like instead of just filling at a part where you like it, you're designing the song to be like this, and so now we're trying to stick a lot truer to that.
to the actual recording. Yeah. We had a cool process when we were recording. Garth touched up on it, like a couple beats that were not sounding very great. The engineer told us, Alex told us, change it up, do this instead, or try something different. And we try to play the songs just as we recorded them, for that reason, and it just happens, like they'll change sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's
or-
certain songs like at the end of, what is it, Lurking Within, right? There's the solo-esque part of the drums. So there might be times where we're in a live setting where that goes further or changes up a little bit.
You just feel it.
Yeah, it would just go. I mean,
But for the majority parts of the song, we're trying to keep to what we recorded. So, because that's always an experience too, I feel, when you're at a live show and you're waiting for that note, or that riff.
Yeah.
the drum
And
fill, that
the
small
drum
drum
fill,
fill.
and you're like, this is my part of that song that I
Yep.
You
love,
wanna
that I
hear it.
connected with, and the guy just plays something else, or just doesn't do it, or it does a little bit different that night that you think I want to try this, which is totally okay. But as a fan, you're like,
You get a little let down.
yeah, a little bit.
Some certain things, like some key riffs or notes or solos or licks, it's just like those gotta stay.
Yeah, you gotta
If
keep
you
the
wanna
licks.
play-
Yeah, if you're a true fan and you listen to that album, and you listen to the whole album before you went to the show, and you're like waiting, there's certain moments that you
Right.
you connect with, and
Yeah,
and it's win or lose. You can't control the whole situation, but you do what you can.
Try your
Enjoy
best
the
at
moments
least,
that
yeah.
you can. So
I think as long as you stay like somewhat in the confines of the song,
Right.
Yeah.
you're fine.
Right.
Yeah, you're fine.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's when you go there and like the band sounds completely different live.
yeah,
I
hate
yeah, that's a big thing that we're making sure that we keep on the same page as well,
Mm-hmm.
because there's a lot of sounds and tones that we were talking about, especially in Endless Voyage on that big song that we recorded, that we have to make sure that we get live as well.
Sure.
So
Do you guys play with a MacBook? Do y'all have like backdrop sounds or like a backtrack?
we haven't done it yet. We haven't actually played any shows with this.
I respect that, honestly. I don't. The whole MacBook thing is kind of whack, if you ask me.
Yeah.
You see those bands sit up and then they have like a MacBook by the drums or whatever,
Right.
And it's just like a backtrack. And
Yeah, start that. Everybody's on the click.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's some parts that will be like encased in that for sure, because they have to. We can't play them.
Well, of course, yeah.
But most of it, I mean, we have enough players we can hit them.
We try to keep it as authentic as possible. I'm a big fan of the raw sound.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but like when it gets too, for me, there's like a fine line between good production and then overproduction
Yeah.
for a live show where there's too much, like backtracking or just too
That's
much.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
Like,
sure.
like, it crossed that line, and now it's like I can't even tell if that's real or the guitar player. No, the guitar
Yeah,
player's
yeah.
not doing it, and that's just a sample. And like, oh, I thought they were.
Is that even on?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on anymore. Yeah, but I like the raw sound, but at the same time, like Garth said, we try to keep as close as possible to the record. So we're gonna try. We always try our hardest to just, replicate those sounds as close as possible as we can. Because like I said, I mean, the album was recorded in the studio with a huge amount of
Right,
amps,
right.
tons of toys to play with, but
Yeah.
obviously we can't just pull up to a show with 6
Right.
amps.
Right. Right.
Yeah, and who knows what their sounds?
Yeah, so we,
we're not at that stage.
we
yet.
try to do our best with what we have and just replicate it as much as possible live. If it's something we can do, then we'll look for other options. But
Yeah, and we don't add like a exorbitant amount of
yeah,
like. I mean, we had one horn sound. Which song was that?
yeah, we added like small horns and
That's cool.
Yeah,
what
for
was
just
it?
a back.
It was,
Yeah,
what
just a
song
back.
was it?
Yeah, that's
Trench,
The
the
trench.
Trench.
Yeah,
Yeah, we added like a
just
little
to
bit
like
of
fill in some of the
horns.
space and make
Yeah.
it more heavy.
Just
And-
stuff people don't really hear, but they're there, man. They're there.
Yeah. And so that something like that.
Yeah.
I don't find it too bad in taste when you have that, if that's backtracking stuff, it's not intense. It's
Yeah.
just there to give those little elements of like when we really climax in those moments, you get that feeling in the back and you're like,
Yeah.
whoa, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. But yeah, man, try to keep it as raw as possible.
So tell me about like highlight a Lowlight for me. Y'all had to have a bad show at some point, or like something go wrong, or like
which band?
yeah, right.
When
Which night?
Yeah,
Which
oh my
night of them
God.
all? Oh man,
There's always like a good band story of like, oh, the sound system failed, or like string broke, or like.
Well,
has there been something
I mean,
like that?
I've had a couple. One of them, I'll let you think of one, but like one of my first shows, I think it was my first show actually ever.
Yeah.
I was about 19 at the time. I was playing in a metal band called the Lorien. It was an original band, and I guess the sound guy put up the sub a little too high, and I blew it out with the double kick pedal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but I've.
It sounded like a.
Oh, dude, it was broke. Yeah, they took
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah,
stuff
the
out. They
flapping.
took the whole thing out. Yeah.
Wow.
Because I broke. Yeah, I was going ham on a song, and I guess he had it turned up a little too loud, and just popped it.
Yeah, I've popped PAs before.
Yeah. So,
lost them out.
well, I'm trying to think of just like I mean, we've had shitty like times with like promo people, like slots, like having to, or like there was in the last band I did with Paradise Within. We got booked to play at one of the venues down here in Deep Ellum, and someone double booked. So
Oh, great.
when we got there,
Yeah.
we had to discuss with the other artists how we were going to split the time. The venue wouldn't even take responsibility
What?
for it. They were like, "Oh, well, I didn't book. That some other guy does the booking for
Sure.
us. I didn't. You guys are gonna have to figure it out." Type shit. And so that's frustrating, but we're real chill with the other artists and made something work. And
That's cool. At least they were cool about it.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
split the time because it
Yeah.
was 2.5 hour sets. So there's plenty. It was the whole night.
That's a lot of time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But we worked hard at filling that time up.
I bet. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to practice for a 2-hour show, and then
we
they're
only
like,
we only had
That's a long time, dude.
It
It
is.
is a long
time.
We only had like 15 originals, which was still a lot at
It
the
is.
time for a 2-year band. I mean, we were working very hard at the band, and
That's more. I mean, that's a lot.
right.
that is a lot.
And then we added like another 15 covers, to fill because we didn't want to play the same songs for both sets. So we had two completely there's a couple that we brought back in of our originals, but all the other ones were completely different songs because we want to keep it fresh and not the same set list.
Sure.
2.5 hours. So
That
I mean
sucks.
stuff like that. I don't know. I mean there's times where they're like, they don't give you all the money when selling tickets, stuff like that. But I don't think of anything like burnt. I haven't anything burned down.
Yeah. Right.
Well, I have a pretty shitty one. Let me see.
What happened?
It was the first band when me and Ozzy. So like I said, I was 16. He was probably like 18. No, I think I was like 17 at the time. So he was like 19. And we had a drummer who was a lot older than us. He was like 30 something at the time. He was a cool guy. We knew him through mutual friends. And then he got really wasted. Drummer got wasted.
Oh man.
Drummer got fucking hammered.
Yep. It kills the whole show.
We're gonna go play the show, and we play the first song, and he sounds like shit, but not too bad. But he's like, all right, whatever, we'll make it through. And
Falling back a little bit.
He
speeding
fucking,
up.
I don't know what he does. He breaks the kick the kick pedal. It breaks. The spring or the chain or something. I don't know how they work, right? But something always clips off of them, and then they don't work. But I guess he was too hammered that he didn't know how to fix it, or he didn't know what the problem was.
That sucks.
So then we're looking at him like, what's wrong? Like, well, I don't know about drums, and Ozzy doesn't know about drums. So we're like, we're already on stage. We already played the first song. So he's trying to like fix it, but then he's like, I can't fix it. And we're like, what? We're one song in, dude. We're one song in. We can't just say goodbye.
Yeah. All right. See you later.
Yeah. All right, thanks. So we're like, well, okay. So then, luckily, we were friends with another band that was there, and we were really good with their drummer. And he jumped on stage and like fixed his pedal. It was just a spring, luckily, so he was able to patch it up and get it going. But like those 6 minutes or whatever, while the drummer's trying to fix it, really feel like 30 minutes. In front of an audience with these lights on you.
Was that one of your first shows?
It was our first show.
No way. Welcome to the scene.
I think it was our first our first show for this band. Like like it was like, all right, here we go. Like we didn't have many songs at the time. I think we had like 4 or 5 songs in a cover that we were gonna do. So we did the first song, and then the whole incident happened, and it was terrible. Like,
that's horrible.
And then just little thing. That show was a mess. I think Ozzy forgot what is it called? The AC adapter for his pedal board that day, and so like he didn't have some effects on there, and it was just bad. I mean, I learned a lot from that. Literally, like after that, it was like, all right, you
gotta come correct.
You gotta have it all, man. The prep is more than the show, dude. You gotta prep for it so much. You gotta have your cables, everything. Color code your cables so you know whose cable is who, because everybody has the same fucking cable.
Yeah, you gotta wrap it with your.
You gotta wrap it. Yeah, like I'm always green. Ozzy's red. It's like, that's your cable, is mine. Don't mix them up. And then like when we went to the studio, same thing, right? It's like, don't forget your cables. You lose the cable, that's $100 cable. Like,
Sure.
And you don't want to be bringing a cable from the studio, and then they're calling you like, hey, I think you stole my cable. So a lot of little prep like that, and just making sure everything's tight as possible before you even get on that stage, just to make everything run as smooth as possible. But,
yeah, you got to.
Yeah, it's funny, man. I always bring 2 pairs of kick pedals.
Yeah, always.
You never know. Like, it doesn't happen, but when it does, you want to be prepared for when that spring breaks or whatever breaks on them.
Sure.
Amp wise, I'm the bass player, so it's not too bad. I guess you could always go into the DI. Worst comes to worst. And my amps are solid state, but like I can't imagine like tube amps. Like your tube goes out, it's like.
Yeah, I've always played solid state myself.
Yeah, like you might need another tube, or you need another amp, because some amps I think you can't just replace the tubes like then and there. Like I think.
I don't know. I've never had a tube amp.
I think they got to go soldered or something. Yeah. I'm like, well, that's a lot, and they break their tubes, so if you slam them, the tubes can actually break.
Oh yeah, they're glass.
They're glass, yeah. So it's like that sounds like a nightmare.
That doesn't sound like a.
They sound great, but I'm like, damn, that sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, right.
Sounds like a nightmare on stage. So
I always think it's funny when those guys like, y'all know Polyphia?
Yeah.
I love them, right? And so they recently they didn't get busted, but like they got put on blast for using like a wall of Marshalls.
I saw that. They were in Dallas, weren't they?
They were, yeah. They're playing at So What, I think.
Okay.
They had a wall of Marshalls. They don't play Marshalls.
Well, none of it was plugged.
They're not real.
So they don't play Marshalls.
Yeah.
Like, they would never play a Marshall.
Yeah.
Not with their type of music.
So they had a shot of like backstage, and you could see their cabinets, and they're just boxes.
They're just empty.
They're not real amps.
It's just like the fake wall you do in the 80s.
Why would they do that?
Exactly.
It's probably a joke or something.
So
let me look big.
Let me ask you as a drummer, because you mentioned your kick pedals. Do you, when you did double bass, are your heels on the floor, or do you do tiptoes?
I do heel up, but there's a couple different techniques, and depends on like what you're trying to achieve, I feel. So if you are doing like single pedal, there's the heel toe technique, and that's definitely one that I've developed a lot over time, and that's what I'll do for like single foot work. And you get fast doubles, and people will get up to triples and fours and stuff like that, but not quite there yet. But when it comes to the double foot pedal, I always have had kind of medium tension. I really just buy them and barely adjust them. Like I see a lot of people, they have the foot really high to get super fast, that quick response. But I don't feel like I need that. But yeah, when I go in, I'll keep if I'm going in for a full blast, I'll keep the heels up, and I'll do mostly, just the bottom of your toes and feet right there.
I always found that so interesting. Like when I'd watch my drummer play, and I found out that he was tiptoeing like that because I used to think it was just like this.
Nah, because the different muscles.
Yeah, you get faster this way in your
Right.
tiptoes, and when I
Yeah,
saw
you're
his
using-
legs going up and down, I was like, dude, what the fuck are you doing down there?
Yeah, and then so it's a combination of moving your legs and spasming your ankles.
Okay.
And doing that in a rhythm that you know all coordinates with
Sure.
yourself, and that's how you get that fast. That's how people are getting over 200, 250 BPM,
Right.
blast beats and stuff like that. But yeah, it's you kind of look at it like with your wrists and your forearms, with you're doing strokes with your hand.
Right.
It's all that same type of motion, but kind of with your feet, you just transfer that same type of knowledge.
Can't do it, man.
Yeah.
I've tried. I can't do it.
It's
a
tough.
lot.
That
It's a
I will
lot.
say that is the one thing that has come completely natural for me. Ever since I started drums, the double foot pedal, it just came to me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's super fortunate
Yeah.
with that, and that's why I guess maybe I've gravitated. I've always loved that sound. Like you get the good double kicks in a song, you're like, this is this is tough, this is hard. I love this, but.
Yeah.
For some reason, that stuff came real natural to me as a drummer. I mean, there's some other stuff I fail at.
Sure.
For sure, like, oh man, I can tell you about it, but no. But the double foot pedal has always been something really good.
Right.
And I mean, I've tried the weight practicing, putting weights on your ankles and stuff like that. But I've kind of related it to something I've learned with watching some boxers, because they talk about weighted gloves,
Yeah.
or like and stuff to like be stronger, like throwing stronger, punches. And they're saying that you're not getting like what is it, faster? You're not throwing faster by doing harder weight. You're just being able to throw harder weight.
Just stronger, I guess. Yeah.
And so, because I thought that was building speed up for my double foot pedal, but it's really not. So, you live and learn.
Yeah, right.
It's really just practicing that repetition. It's like single strokes like you do with your hand, and just practicing with your feet as well. Like doubles, like all the same stuff you do with your hands, do with your feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't do it. Say again, I can't do it. I've tried multiple times,
Yeah,
man.
I can't do it either.
It's like some weird left brain, right brain stuff.
Yeah, I can do it like 1 second.
Yeah, I'll probably get a little.
Then I get off. Then I get off. I'm like, oh.
Yep.
Yeah, the coordination is weird. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard coordination, all right.
Kick, push, 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 kick, push. Radio, 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 radio.
Where y'all been playing at lately?
So for shows?
Yeah.
No, for this. So this band right now, we're very early stages. We feel we've just been pushing content and building a fan base as hard as we can.
Yeah.
And
Looks
because-
like it, man.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And thanks to his brother too, who's helped to run the Instagram a lot, and posting, keeping up with the posting, and keeping up with all the new stuff.
That's a job in itself,
It
man.
is.
Yeah.
It is. It's a lot.
Keeping up with his day life and then band, and then also doing that Instagram thing is a
Yeah.
huge help. And it's because
Does he do all y'all's promo videos and stuff too, or?
Well, no, we reach out when we get so he's just kind of keeping up what we post on Instagram.
Gotcha.
and keeping up with all the content that we're releasing on Instagram. So whatever we have, we'll compile it together. But he's kind of in the control. Okay, this looks good. I kind of know this algorithm a little bit now, so I know what to say on this one. So
Yeah.
he's doing a great job on that.
That's nice to have an outside person or just someone else doing that.
Yeah.
You can focus on your stuff.
Well, he's the guitarist,
Oh.
so he's just in it with.
He's in it with you,
Yeah,
then. Yeah. He's
so we get for free. No.
Yeah.
No, but he understands the idea and the vision of the band.
Yeah.
Kind of what should I say?
Direction.
The direction, yeah,
Sure.
like of kind of what we're going for.
A
so-
message, I guess.
A message and
Yeah.
kind of just the image, I would say. Yeah, the image is like of what we're trying to show and what we're like the tone of we're trying to go to. And he understands it because we talk about it in the band, and so he's really got the content that he does post. Some stuff he does post, like he'll just do a reel or something, and it fits and it works really well. And like Garth said, he knows the handles, he knows what people respond better to. So
Gotcha.
he'll do that.
Yeah,
stuff.
like he did one. I don't know if you knew about it before he posted or whatever, but it was that guy in the subway.
Oh,
and
screaming.
He's like just screaming in the seat, and then he backdropped one of our songs on it.
I think I saw that
Some
one.
guy
Yeah.
in New York.
And I was like, that's perfect.
Yeah.
You know, that was a great post.
Like,
And
what's
so-
he listening to?
Yeah.
What is he listening to?
So stuff like that, you know, he has that mind to look at
That's
it
cool.
and break it apart. So that's been a huge help.
But
But
really, really big help.
because from our past experiences with Dallas and the metal scene, it's not very, you know, easygoing and like
not.
It's hard. It's hard. It's
very
really
hard to
hard.
build
Yeah.
something.
You got to go out to like Fort Worth to
Yeah.
really. I feel like the
Well,
music,
even then, you know,
even then though, but
Yeah.
I feel like the Fort Worth metal scene is a lot more welcoming
sure.
than the
Yeah.
Dallas scene because Dallas is kind of like fuck you, man.
Well, I
Dallas
feel
is
like
hard,
I
man.
feel
Yeah.
like Dallas, they're nowhere to be seen until the band rolls through. Until like Gojira or like a huge band that comes
That's a
through.
good point.
Everybody's hitting.
Everybody's and then you're like,
Where y'all been?
what, dude, like
Yeah.
I'm like, where are y'all?
Yeah.
And they're like,
you run into people you
Yeah.
never thought you run into.
right? No, seriously, like people out of the wazoo, like the whole place is packed. You know, of
Yeah.
people. Like they played at Toyota, and they're coming back.
They're
You know,
coming back again.
and it's all the way back to the lawn is packed with people.
They're a badass band. Though.
Right.
I love them.
Yeah,
Badass.
and so it's trying to find that same energy, but locally.
Mm-hmm.
And with the metal scene, it's not. It's so much work for the effort or the stuff you get out of if you go try that old, way of I'm gonna create songs or play covers.
Show
And then play
covers.
shows and then build that fan base because people it's not how they go out anymore. You know, most people when they go out to go see something.
Yeah.
They don't go out because they got nothing to do.
Yeah.
And they need to go check out.
that's a great point.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So
Well,
you gotta,
and if they go out, it's hard for people to be like, let's walk into this metal show.
yeah.
Well, I think a lot of people want to go with what they know.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
right.
and you don't want to go waste your night on a fucking shitty band
Right.
if
right.
it is a shitty band.
Especially and
Or a band you don't know that
Yeah, exactly.
could be shitty, right? You're like,
and then
are
most
they
of the
really going to
places,
gamble it? Like,
Right.
Most of the places they have the cover charge. So you're paying $10-$15 to see a band you never heard of,
Mm-hmm.
and you have no idea what they're going to sound like. And most of the time, you're like, well, that's just not what I'm into, like doing tonight. I get it back then when you don't have so many options, or like it's literally, hey, let's go to downtown or let's go to Deep Ellum, let's go walk the thing. Oh, that sounds cool. Let's go check it out.
Yeah.
I get that can still happen around, but there's so much easier to be enticed to do so much other stuff that you're more familiar with to do these days.
Yeah.
So you got to bring them into something that they want to come into.
Yeah, that's a
so
good
that's
point.
kind of how we're
Yeah.
looking at it.
yeah, and social media helps a lot with that because, like, if you were to see a band that's, hey, this band's playing, oh, let me Google them, let me put them on Spotify before I even pay the $10. Maybe they're not.
Yeah,
even,
we all do that.
Yeah, maybe it's not
Right.
something I'm into, so why spend my $10 and then I'm gonna leave in
Yeah, who are
10
these
minutes,
guys?
you know?
Exactly.
Check 'em
So
out.
if we don't have any, that was the idea. If we didn't have any of that, backfilled, then it's like people aren't gonna just walk in.
Yeah, and I think y'all got a great
So
grasp on it. Yeah.
that was the idea.
It's a good idea.
Have
Failing.
have the content, have the music, have pictures, have little stuff.
No, it's just real reality based, man.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what people do now. I mean, and we've been doing it. I mean, it's been an adjustment because, like, the past bands, it was different, and,
Well, and
we
it's-
failed, and a lot of things
especially-
didn't work out.
Especially what he's saying, like with learning what we're missing.
Yeah.
Because every time we go play a show, people be like, "Oh, where can we listen to your music?"
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, we don't have it yet.
We haven't recorded.
we
it
haven't
yet.
recorded
Yeah,
it
and
yet.
you feel like you're letting them down.
Yeah, like,
yeah.
hey, you guys have an Instagram? Oh no, we haven't started it yet. Like, oh,
Oh, you guys have any merch, or do you guys have anything? And
Merch
you're
is
like,
everything, man.
huge,
You gotta have it.
and
Yeah.
now
love it.
now that everything is at your tip of your fingers, literally, it's like, oh, okay, well, I don't know who you are. I'm not gonna remember you tomorrow as a band, but I know all these other bands that I follow that are local, or other bands that aren't local, but I know who they are.
Right.
Or they'll eventually come up on a playlist or on Spotify or on Instagram again, and the band who has nothing to to have the fan leave with something, then you'll just be forgotten.
You're getting forgotten about.
Yeah.
Don't ever remember
absolutely.
until you play another show and they just happen to run into you again.
Exactly.
right? If they
If
they
that
don't.
ever happens
Or-
again,
yeah,
yeah.
because you got on the
Right.
show with another band that they're watching.
Sure. But,
because they have the Instagram
First
page.
impressions are a big thing, so
Yeah.
it's like, cool.
I think the scene's really changed in that way.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that, man.
Yeah, it's huge, man.
Yeah.
It's a big
Over the
thing.
years of trying to build original projects and playing in the Dallas scene really teaches you what you need to have ready at the moment, and to go and have something that actually turns out to be successful, because it's so hard. It's not. I feel like, maybe Austin or like other music friendly places, there's a lot more live music, a lot more bands that are popping around. Maybe not so much metal, but you can still be a musician, I feel like, and get, a lot more like accomplished with other musicians in those type of settings. Yeah. Instead here in Dallas, like, there's not a very good platform for people to use to connect with each other. Mm-hmm. Like, you have Craigslist, which is, oh my God. And then you have BandMix, which is...
That's what I was about to say. Y'all are in BandMix, right?
Yeah. Well, not Wolvera as a project. But
individually.
I am on it, and that's actually crazy enough how we found our fourth guitarist, our extra
fourth member.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of good things about BandMix.
It works, man.
I know it really does. People...
I was on there trying to find a guitar player when we were looking for a guitar player. And it didn't work out for me. I didn't find anybody that I liked, and nobody reached out, but... Omar reached out to
a couple people recommend it to me.
Yeah.
Just throw yourself out there.
Yeah.
No, you'd be surprised. Yeah, there's a lot of people in your area that connect on it. Which, nothing. BandMix has. We found Omar, so it's pretty crazy. I mean, he hit up on a ad that I posted like 10 years ago. And
wow.
Yeah, for the first metal band I was in, and he was like, "Hey, are you still looking for guitarists?"
10 years later.
10 years later. I am looking for a guitar player.
Like, actually,
better, man.
I still am looking for a guitar player.
It was insane. Awesome. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. And so I let them know, and then we had a couple meetings with him. He seemed pretty chill, so we invited him on. But
yeah, he was a good addition, man. Because it used to be just me, Ozzy, and Garth, and the sound was good, but it was like I've always been used to bands with two guitar players. And
yeah, me too.
Especially if you're trying to do harmonies or solos. It just sounds fuller. So the idea was always we got to find a guitar player. But we knew we weren't at the point where we needed a guitar player at the moment because we already had a couple songs that we were writing and pretty much fleshed out. But we were like, well, if we ever want to play shows, we're going to need a guitar player. And we might want to start looking for that now. So I looked around here and there, but I didn't find anything. And Omar reached out, and he fit the band. He fit the bill. He likes our music. He likes the same bands we like.
Yeah, that was really clutch when we met him. Jerry was, because Jerry needed to understand, because Jerry writes a lot of it. He uses Ozzy as a lot of influence, but most of it's Jerry. So when we're bringing in another guitarist, we really need to make sure that Jerry and him, even if they do listen to completely different artists or whatever, that they have a mutual understanding of how they're going to connect with each other.
Yeah, you've got to set that dynamic.
Right.
Between the guitar players.
And it's kind of like, like you're looking for a band, maybe you're also looking for a business partner. Kind of just have the idea of what we're trying to do, because if that was the main thing, like if I told them, like if your idea is to play shows tomorrow, like that's not going to happen. Like we got to record some music first.
We were on a plan.
We have this plan,
I love that y'all have a plan.
This is kind of how we're trying to go.
Yeah, they get together and they don't have a fucking plan. They just start playing
make a noise, right?
Yeah, go gig somewhere, and they're not getting any traction.
Yeah. Right. There's nothing
they're just
there, right?
wheels.
Yeah. No, yeah, I've been there.
So that was our idea, and then that's what we communicated to Omar. It's like, this is kind of what we're doing. If you like what we're doing, and you want to be a part of this, then we welcome you. But
I think y'all got it. Y'all got a great hold on this shit.
Oh, thanks, man.
I'm impressed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been a lot
trial and error.
Yeah, it really has been a lot of just working through, because like the band breakups are not easy.
Right.
There's some of them I don't talk to the people anymore, but some of them I still communicate with, and we have a good relationship. Very fortunate, and that's become with the more recent band like breakups that I've had.
Yeah.
Like the first band breakups though. You don't talk to those guys no more.
Brutal.
Yeah, it's rough, man. Because you're vulnerable. You're putting your art and your creativity out there, and you're connecting with these guys, and and you're building a family or a brothership or whatever you got going on, and when that, for whatever reason that breaks, depending on that reason, it can be pretty rough. So I feel like that happens a lot. As you understand how you deal with people, and you understand yourself, and then you understand your roles in the band and what you bring to the table, and how you share that, and I think it's us also growing as an adult, like being like team players, because a lot of the band's ego, man. Like I'm the leader, I'm the alpha, you listen to me.
Yeah.
And the other guy's like, no, but my idea is better, I'm the alpha.
So I had a guy come on the show a while back. I'm not gonna say his name, but he came on here and he's that guy. He's that guy where it's my way or the highway.
Right.
And this is my band.
Yeah.
And I don't fuck with that. Y'all are a group.
Yeah.
You know, you all bring shit to the table. You're all worthy of being in the band. You know.
Right.
You know?
No, and
Definitely, yeah.
that it's at the same point. There's still, I feel like you still have the role because you still need that person. Like, so Jerry hates it, but we all put Jerry as the leader because we
I don't like that shit.
You're the front man.
Yeah. Well, he picked singing, so he could have stayed on bass and stayed hung out in the back.
Right.
Back.
But I feel like that dynamic is very important because there needs to be somebody that we're like, hey, you know, the totem stops there, like. But all our decisions are very mutual, and we all communicate and be like, hey, what do you guys think? Like, let's vote on it, or like, you know. But at the end of the day, we need somebody to be like, hey, this is where, like, I'm putting this out here as this where we should take the group. What do you guys think about it? You know, the leadership, like, that guy's like, no, I'm the leader. This is my band. I'm going to tell you guys where to go.
Exactly.
At least as this person as a leader, you're discussing it, and you're coming up with the best possible solution and moving forward. And so that's really, I feel like, through all of our experiences is what's making it work a lot better. Because, like I said, I like help with, you know, the drumming and the producing, like the song, like help in the back end of like helping create the song, and then like with the song registry of like BMI and DistroKid of putting our songs out there. So I'm kind of helping all on that front. And then you have his brother Ozzy, who's doing the Instagram, social media stuff. And
So everyone plays a role.
Yeah, and we try to keep it mutual. Like everybody, we know what we're good at, and we know who's good at what at the same time. Like I know Ozzy's good at the social media. I know Garth's good at the BMIs and the registry and Spotify.
And you got to put your ego to the side a little bit.
And stuff like that. And a lot of things that we don't know, I mean, we ask, right? So it's like, hey guys, I don't know. I'm thinking this, but what do y'all think? And they're like, no, I don't like that. Blah, blah, blah. Then it's okay, cool.
It sounds like y'all got a good band.
Let's try it. Let's try it this other way, and you know, you can't win them all.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just
That's
gotta take, and you gotta take some risks. Sometimes if something you don't know, like let's say we're gonna make T-shirts or something, it's like, well, I don't know. I mean, I've never made. Have anybody made T-shirts? No. Like, all right, well, I'm gonna reach out to this guy, and then we'll see what happens.
Right.
And you guys let me know. You guys like the shirt. You guys like the design. You guys don't like working with them. And, all right, then we'll try something else.
Yeah.
You know, but
No, I think
just
y'all got a bright future ahead, man. If y'all are already like this, I mean, y'all.
Definitely been the healthiest band experience.
It's healthy, and it's really we're open minded about a lot of things. We try not to
Because it makes it
close
more
it.
fun.
We try not to be closed minded and just keep it like this is what we do, and we don't do anything past this. Like nah.
But yeah, I've just been in the bands where it's like nobody declares they're the alpha or the leader.
That sucks
But like
too.
every time the ideas come out and like, no, this is how I want the song to go, or like, no, this is what I want to make. You know, and then you're like, okay, well, I see what you're doing there, you know, but then you don't talk about it, and it's this underlying thing.
That's how it was in my band. In my metal band, I played rhythm guitar, and we kind of switched between rhythm and lead depending on the song, right? But he always thought that this was his band. Right? So we always clashed a little bit, and I'm more like laid back and like, man, let's just fucking play, you know?
Right.
I don't care.
Yeah.
So I feel you on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just knowing the dynamic and like making decisions. Somebody has to make the decisions,
Right.
whether they're good or bad. But I mean, a decision has to be made. If not, you just run in circles. And I think I've had a couple bands like that too, where it's just they have a riff and they want to make it one way, but nobody else wants to do it the other way. So then we don't do anything. It's like, well, that was a waste of a riff. That was a waste of a song, probably. Who knows? But nobody could decide on anything, and we didn't do anything at all.
Right.
Or just coming up to decisions about like we were discussing using the music promoter. So we're using a promotion company for the video that we just released, so that we can get more fan base and really build that traction, see what momentum we can get. And just going through that discussion, because we've never used one. And so, but you get all the messages on Instagram, you get all those companies saying, hey, we'll do promotion at this much, you know. So most of it we see as a scam, you know. So we've looked through companies. I found one that looks sustainable and trustable.
We try it out.
And we try it out. But
see what happens.
But some of it, you know, might be a little uncomfortable to be like, I don't really want to go that route, but I'm going to trust my team.
Sure.
You know, and that's what you do. Like, or if there's artwork design, or if there's a decision on the song, or like we had a discussion about what song we were going to do for the music video. you know, and everybody was kind of pulling towards their own direction. But we did a vote on it, and you know, win or lose, whatever, that's the decision. But as a person, as the band, you got to be like, okay, that's the decision.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, don't take it home and be like, oh, they didn't pick the song that I want to pick. 'Cause this reason and that reason.
Be all bitter about it.
None of that matters, man. Yeah, and it's actually, if you let it play out, I bet it fucking work out. It works out.
Yeah,
because I was really glad we did. I didn't want to do Lurking Within at the beginning. I wanted to do a different song. But I feel like it was great doing Lurking Within as our first release because we learned so much doing the music. It's our first music video.
Yeah.
As any project we've ever done. So we learned so much about making the music video, how, you know, what shots we were going to do, planning the music video, all that stuff. Yeah. And I was like, I'm glad I didn't do it on the song I liked the most.
I wanted to.
Yeah, right.
I wanted to do the trench.
Yeah. So it's like, so it worked out, and I learned a lot from it, and I'm glad, you know, that decision played out the way it played out.
Because your next one will be better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so putting my ego aside and letting things play out with the decision that the team made turned out to be great.
Yeah, definitely letting things play out because, like, even with like the band name Wolvera,
I was just about to ask you.
Yeah, we had
that was wild. We were going on for like months.
And as time goes on, when more like, you know, we're in this band, like a lot of things we realize like they matter, but they don't matter.
Yeah,
like,
right.
The band and the music and our work will give everything the value of what it is.
Exactly. It'll speak for itself.
Because like the name Wolvera, we had a hard time finding a name to begin with. One that, you know, a name that wasn't taken, and two, something that sounds like a ring, or it could be easy.
Unique.
That could be easy to remember.
It's a cool name.
Yeah.
Thank you. And that was the thing. So we had a couple names thrown out there, and we were getting to that point where it was just like, let's just pick any name. Because we can't keep going without a name.
Right.
We need to have a name. And Ozzy has a little Wolverine pop on the top of his amplifier.
I saw that.
Yeah, he's been a big X-Men fan since we were kids. And I remember I wrote that on the board, Wolverine, and I was like, fuck it, we're going to call it Wolverine. We're sticking with Wolverine.
Yeah, because he was very set on an animal. He wanted an animal.
Yeah, I wanted some kind of like a beast animal, like something big, because we have a big sound.
Yeah.
You know? So I was like, I want something big but easy to remember, right? So like something just huge, and then so I just put Wolverine, and we had other names on the board.
Yeah, there was another word I forget too.
And then Garth just like combined the words that were on there with Wolverine, and it was like Wolvera. And as soon as he said it, I was like, "Fuck it, we're going with that. That sounds great."
Yeah,
Wolvera.
we took out some of the word in Wolverine, and then there was one other suggestion we had. And I took out half of that, and I just smashed it together.
Yeah.
And I was like, Wolvera.
We're like Wolvera.
Like a light bulb went off.
Yeah, no, right when I saw it there, I just took those out and smashed
and
it.
then that was the thing I told him. I was like, all right, hold on, let me check on Google. There's not a called Wolvera.
Yeah.
There is. We're fucked.
There was one piece of artwork.
There was one piece of artwork from some guy that like drew like a Dungeons and Dragons monster.
Oh, fuck it. Hey, okay, let me put you on.
Wolvera, and it was like hand drawn.
Yeah.
That was it.
That was
Nothing
it,
else came up, and I was like, perfect. That's it. We're going.
Man, that's
Wolvera.
nothing. That's
We're
nothing.
going
There's a
Wolvera.
local band called Threnody.
Okay.
And they've been on the show actually. They were the first metal band to come on here. Shout out, guys. There's a metal band in the '80s called Threnody.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah, and so they're battling right now with Spotify trying to separate the two.
Oh,
wow.
They keep getting all their music thrown into their music.
Yeah, I know that
because
problem.
they're the same name.
Yep.
Same name. Yeah.
So
That's
nothing.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
my main concern was like, people. I don't know, like people are gonna look up Wolvera and the other band's gonna come up, and then we're just gonna get thrown at the bottom of the list.
But now, like you Google us, we're the first ones to come up.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, you see our Instagram and everything.
So that was the main thing we were.
Got lucky on that.
So that was like the last nail. Okay, perfect. We're going with Wolvera. Like,
yeah, and then
that's sticking.
It rolled off the tongue every
And
time.
now we see it, and it doesn't seem weird. I mean, it's Wolvera. Like, oh, cool.
No, and every time
That's
you
the band.
brought it to other people, like even people that had nothing to do with music or metal, I'd be like, "What do you think of that? When I say this, what do you think of it?" And they were like, "That sounds like it. It doesn't sound awkward. You know, it sounds good.
It sounds like a metal band.
Yeah, it sounds like a solid thing. Like, what is that? You know?
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
Just sounded really good, so we kept it and we moved on with it, and then it panned out, right? Like it's just. Now it's like I can't believe we had that discussion at a point where we were debating if we should even what we were gonna call it.
Let me ask y'all this. I see a lot of metal bands doing this. On their Instagram handle, it's the name and then TX. I've noticed so many metal bands doing this. Was this intentional, or is it just an issue of the tag was already taken?
No,
know?
I think it was taken when I was doing it for Instagram. I don't remember, but I've always put TX. Just for Texas.
Yeah, of course it's Texas.
It's a little,
I've noticed so many local bands doing
that.
that.
I think it was from just That or just Wolvera seemed too plain, just to have Wolvera, like for the email, I think.
Sure.
I'm not sure, but I remember I had to add something on there. And
Hell yeah.
we used to add like the area code, like 214 or something, but I was like, I would just do Texas. And I did it. I did it for one. Yeah, I did it for one thing, and then I was like, well, I want to keep it consistent with everything else. So like
Continuity.
that's way that way. It's the same handle. For
Yeah, man.
Many things
Y'all
as
are
possible.
super professional about how you go about this.
Thanks, man.
That's
Yeah,
cool, man.
we try to
Thank
keep
you.
it as tied up as possible.
I can tell.
Yeah.
So let me ask, I ask this to everyone that comes on the show, whether they're an artist or a chef or whatever, but how do you guys experience time?
Time,
This is more like just
like
personal
lifetime.
question,
Yeah.
you know, just how do you experience time in general? Just do you think about it at all? Does it phase you? Are you
I would say it's definitely not on my priority, because I've always been okay with death, like with me dying at any time.
okay?
So I've never held on to like, oh, I only have this much amount of time in my life. Like
Yeah.
tomorrow I could die, whatever happens. So I really look at just what I'm dealing with, how I can achieve to become a better me in whatever that vision looks like.
Yeah, I like that.
And then trying to just accomplish the goals that I have, like with music, and then whatever else that I'm doing, like hobbies, like I race cars and stuff like that. So that's something that takes a lot of time and interest in for sure. But I do like having my space and like time to myself.
Sure.
But I'm never looking at like my place in time per se.
Okay.
Yeah. Me personally, I've been a procrastinator all my life. So these last, I turned 30 last year in June, so I'm going for 31, and it has kind of changed my outlook. That these last maybe 5 years have kind of gone by, and a lot of good things have happened in those 5 years. But it's like it's starting to get to that point where like, damn, that was 5 years ago. Like that feels like yesterday. You know what I mean? So at the same time, that mentality has kind of not scared me, but at the same time, kind of made me like, hey, consider time a little bit more precious, because like I said, I was a procrastinator where I was always like, I'll get to it tomorrow, I'll do it next week, and then it's like it never gets done, or it gets done weeks, years later. But after that way of thinking, it's kind of made me kind of value it more. So it's like, if I can do it today, I'll try to do it today. And
I definitely agree with
and
that.
enjoy the experiences, like this podcast right now, like
Living in the moment.
doing a fucking podcast on Saturday. Like, that's cool. It's a great thing, or I'm going to play a show with the band or with the band. But at the same time, just kind of keeping a little bit more, more, put a little more thought into the things that I'm doing. So it's like, I want to play a show this year. So like, we should really work on let's put a time and try to play that show.
Time and effort.
Yeah, because, I would like to play a show. Because if you don't put a time or a goal or set a time limit, then it's kind of like, I'll do it one day. Yeah. And knowing me, I'll probably never do it.
I'm big about schedule. Like, if we don't schedule it, it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's the thing.
That's a good thing, yeah.
And bring it up. Like we like to, like this year, the first practice we had, we kind of do a little outline of what we wanted to do.
Because we're done releasing the EP.
Yeah, so
we
like,
just finished recording the video. So we were just gonna release it at the end of the month, and we're like, well,
now
okay, it's open sesame. Like what are we looking at?
What are we gonna do? And it was like we dropped down some ideas on the board, and whether they get done or not, we're going to shoot for them to get done. We might do more than what was on the list, but at least we have an outline, an idea of what
and
we
like
want to
a trajectory too.
Yeah.
Like we want to do this first.
Because if we don't think about it, then it's just like if we don't think about it, then it's like, well, what do we do out here? It's like, we didn't do shit. Could have done a lot
we've been in that situation with the band that we were in, Montera. We were in that band for like 4 years or so. Yeah, and we did nothing.
Yeah, well, I think that's the thing
jammed.
with a lot of like just Dallas people and just the scene here. It's real cyclical. You go in circles, dude. It's hard to break out of Dallas. You have to leave Dallas to really be that breakout artist.
Definitely.
I find that with a lot of
or your very rare occasion, Polyphia, Pantera.
Right.
Like it's very rare that these Dallas metal.
I guess you just gotta have a P name in your band.
Yeah, we just change. Wolvera with a P at the end.
P is silent.
Yeah.
P and then Wolvera.
I got one more question for you. It's kind of just a funny band question, but who's always late to practice?
Probably me.
Yeah,
Jerry or me.
The vocal's always late.
I'm a little late. 10, 15
but
minutes.
It's okay. That's the caveat of the bass player singer role. is that the ego is, the bass player always knows to be in the back and the singer's always trying to fight the front. So I feel like it's a really good balance.
No, that's a good point.
know?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess since Omar lost his car, he got into an accident the other weeks ago or something. So he's Ubering or something.
Oh, that's hell.
Yeah, and he lives up in.
He lives in Carrollton.
Carrollton.
Carrollton, yeah.
So he
Too far.
Ubers all the way. Yeah, but from you, but he Ubers all the way down to South Dallas.
We're in Oak Cliff.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you're in Oak Cliff. Okay.
So he has to, but so he sometimes
He was always on time though, man.
Yeah.
When he had his car, he was there.
Oh yeah, he's there 5 minutes. That guy's excited to be there.
Oh, yeah.
Great. I'm like, great.
But I'd say me or Jerry for sure. Ozzy can't be late because he lives there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's always there.
Yeah. I mean, he's been asleep.
He's been asleep.
Yeah.
He's been asleep a couple times. But yeah, no. Yeah, I think I'm always late for the most part. I try not to be, but I work on it. Yeah. I don't like being late, but
I feel like those things as a band, you understand we're okay with it, but because I've seen that too. Other bands you're not here on time. That's disrespect. I hate you already, type thing, or it just starts the band thing with a very negative vibe about that person, about what effort they're bringing into it.
Right.
But and then they want to make a decision, and you're like, but you're late all the time.
You're not taking it seriously.
You're late all the
Exactly.
time. What do you mean?
I feel like because we had just the mentality of we all have work, throughout the week, and we get that we do want to accomplish this and we do want to make this our main goal in life. But at the same time, we all have responsibilities, and we can't. The more we harp and the more we try to strangle somebody on these little tiny things in life, the worse experience is going to be.
Less fun you have. And when we say we're late, we're probably 10 minutes late.
15
minutes late.
It's not, if it's an hour, if
think
anything
once-
past 30 minutes, you get a text hey, where are you?
Yeah, just to see. And we're really good at communicating, too. Hey, dude, I'm going to be 20 minutes late. I'm going to be 30 minutes late. Or, hey, dude, I'm backed up. Or,
Communication's key, man.
Damn, I got caught up. I'm not going to be there till 6. Is that cool? You still want to jam? And it's nah, don't worry about it. We'll just do it next week because I got to be out by 7. Or whatever, But we keep in touch and we all communicate just so that we're all on the same page. Because it's a lot worse if you're there for practice and then somebody's not even they don't show up and they don't text you. Then it's just
no call, no show.
What the hell happened? Now wasting my time. I've been here an hour or 2.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing.
That's when feelings hurt.
Yeah, that's when you're like, what the hell? You could at least text me, So we try to be as transparent with each other as possible. I mean, we don't take anything to heart. I mean, it's okay, you got busy or I got busy. I got to go on date night or some shit. I don't know. Sorry, guys. My anniversary on Friday. Can't jam. What do you want me to do? And cool, man. Cool.
Yeah, and I think with all of us sharing that mentality on the same page of that is the big thing. Because if 2 of us are I'm career driven on music and this is my life and I want to devote 110% every day into this band, and then you have 2 other people that are hey, I have all these responsibilities, but I'll devote as much time as I can. You get those 2 different things clashing, you're going to have conflict.
Yeah.
But all of us are on the same page about how we can put in our effort and what we're able to do. So it makes it very nice,
Yeah, we're all definitely. So we're all on the same page with that.
Man, I'm just super impressed how well y'all all get along. You know what I mean? Because you hear some bands and they come in here and they're just oh yeah, well so and so does this, or there's a little bit of tension,
Yeah.
Nah, man, we try to.
You sound like you got your head on right. You sound like you're in the right direction.
Thanks, man.
You got the business plan all in works, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm impressed.
We love it, man. We love the music, but we figured out a long time ago, the music is 40% of it, maybe even 30%.
If that,
It all comes down to our relationship as a band, our business model, or what we're trying to do, and reaching out to folks. That's way more important.
Yeah, because I've always felt
content. Obviously, we need good music, right? The content.
Right.
That's what you're selling.
But
there's more to it than just that.
Sure.
Yeah, I've always felt like we've had the ear and the music creativity behind it. But, it's getting that whole business. You can't just do it off of having the good music. We've seen so many other bands. Now, granted, music is opinionated, but we've seen so many other bands that were really? They're up there playing that show. Yeah. They're on a better spot, than us. They're playing with other, bigger venues. And you're come on. We could easily be playing a great show up there with our music.
It's a matter of time for y'all, I think.
Yeah.
It's a matter of time.
Man, that'd be great.
Really, yeah, we really want to see how this music video turns out and the response we get from it. We just released it yesterday. So we're very excited.
Yeah, man, y'all be sure and check that out.
It's on
Yeah, man, check it
YouTube
out.
right now on our channel at Wolvera. You can listen to all of our stuff on all music platforms, especially Apple Music, Spotify,
Hell yeah.
anything like that. Yeah.
Anything else y'all want to throw out there real quick?
We do have, if you do follow us already, you do know that we have some new design for merch that we just released. We had a cool artist that Jerry found on Instagram that made a really cool artwork for us that we want to use. So we're going to be releasing new merch and everything here in the next probably month or so.
Some shirts and stuff? Or?
Shirts.
Yeah, man, we're looking at
stickers.
shirts. I actually have some stickers for you today, man.
Oh, man, look.
Here, I was gonna bring this for you.
Let's go ahead and exchange
Let's
stickers.
go ahead.
There
Here we
go.
Let's do this. Look, man, I got some for y'all.
Thanks, man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got merch coming. You know, we're trying to do some posters. Oh, these are awesome, dude.
Oh, these are sick too, man.
Fire.
Do you even,
Literally.
dude? I love this.
That was a meme from back in the day.
love
We
that.
used to have Tony Iommi like this. And it was
Yeah,
like, do you even
I remember that. I remember that.
The Ozzy loved that meme, and he
this
was
is
like,
great.
let's make stickers like that. Like, sure, man.
Oh man, that's awesome.
And then we got some holographic ones,
Yeah.
little stuff. For
Yeah, they like that one a lot.
But yeah, man, we got stickers coming. We got t-shirts. We're trying to do maybe some hats, something like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Posters, a nice poster. Probably send you
Yeah,
your
we'll
way,
definitely,
man.
we'll send you something for your wall. We really like this.
I'll put it up.
artwork.
Hell yeah.
Man, this guy's artwork.
It kind of captures what we were looking for with this album or EP artwork.
Yeah.
You know, and what we're identifying ourselves as we grow. You
Yeah.
know? So this is really cool. Yeah, we're excited.
Yeah. Man.
Awesome, guys. Well, I thank y'all for coming through, man. I'm really impressed by
Thank us
y'all.
for having
Thank
us,
you, man. This is
Yeah.
awesome time.
Awesome.
It's been great.
Hey, y'all be sure y'all like, follow, subscribe, tune into these guys. They're a killer fucking band. I've never lied to y'all. Anyway, guys, y'all take it easy. Y'all be you. We're gonna be us. Later.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
If you'd like to see raw, unedited live episodes, follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/whatsupwiththat. To watch full episodes of What's Up With That, subscribe to us on YouTube at youtube.com/whatsupwiththat.